I've got a little lesson for us today, and I really believe in deep diving into why a certain problem is being created for you, right, with respect to your voice. So, if you are someone who struggles with the issue of vocal fatigue, understand that you will not be able to go very far by staying at the surface and doing exercises without understanding why these things are occurring. So, the video that I've recorded today is to encourage you to really slow down and come to the very, very, very foundational steps. Just understanding how breathing is, how it should work, what the design of the body is, so that when you go ahead and apply it on more sophisticated exercises, you can do that with awareness. So today's video is a do along, and I would recommend not to be fooled by the simplicity or the level of basicness of this video, because really this is where it all starts. And if you are willing to go through and really unlearn some of the things that you know about your voice and really be an absolute beginner, then this video is perfect for you, so you can really go much further with your voice than you have been able to go until now. So let's go into the video, and I encourage you to sit in a comfortable space and wear something comfortable. So now that that is out of the way, and you are here to really just with an open mind explore your body, explore what is up with your breathing that is causing your throat to constrict whenever you're talking or whenever you're singing. So again, there are two aspects to this. We have both the inhalation stage and the exhalation stage, and the problem could come in at any or both of these places. But here's the thing about good inhalation, which is that if you are inhaling in a manner that is free and deep, and by deep I don't mean a huge breath, no, that's not what deep means. It just means that we are using the lower part of our lungs to really draw the breath into the depths of our lungs instead of breathing from up here, really shallow the top part of your lungs. So if you are breathing in a way wherein you're allowing the breath to go really deep into your lungs, your throat will respond by opening up, relaxing, releasing, so that the airway remains unobstructed and the air can flow in very easily. Okay, so I would welcome you to experiment with me a little bit right now. What we'll do is we will breathe with a lot of constriction in our chest, in our shoulders, in the back if you like, in your face as well. You can also lock in your tummy if you need to. And again, really go wild with this. You can do whatever you like. But the idea is to show you how, if there is any restriction in the torso particularly, or an overuse of musculature here, it will come and lock your throat out. So let's try that. You may begin to notice how my veins start to like really jump up. So now I personally don't want to continue because it's really uncomfortable. But if you have still not nailed the sensation of tightness in your throat, maybe continue for another 2 rounds. I'm going to wait. Okay, so I want to also say that if you have still not able to lock that feeling of tightness in your throat, that might be because you probably have nothing to compare that to. So if you don't know what an open breath feels like, you may or may not appreciate just how much this sort of a breath is locking you up. So in that case, I would suggest that you wait till the next part of this lesson where I'm going to talk to you or instruct you through a better way of breathing, which will release your throat, and then maybe you can come back to this to revisit, and that'll give you something to compare with. Okay, so now let's go into the better way, the more relaxed way of breathing. And the cool thing about this way of breathing is that you will notice that if you are inhaling in this manner, your throat will literally respond by decompressing and opening up. You will feel space, you will feel relaxation. There will also be a larger expansion in your ribs. Your abdomen is going to move freely. All of those good things, which are basically how breathing was designed to happen. Okay, a good example of this sort of a situation is when you yawn, because if you're going It's just the body breathing on autopilot, wherein it's drawing the breath really deep, and that again is coming with an expansion in the back of your throat. So that's just something to have as a reference at the back of your mind. Okay, it's a great example. So let's begin. So how I like to work with this in the beginning is to help you gain some kind of alignment. Now, if any of you have taken yoga lessons before or have followed some yoga teachers on the internet, you might have heard them say head over heart, heart over pelvis. Now, that is something that the Alexander technique can help us achieve really simply by locating our sit bones. So, these sit bones are the bones that are, again, I'm moving like this because I'm really trying to locate them. So, you can too. These are literally the bones that form the base of your pelvic bone. That's the butterfly shaped bone starting from your hip, going down all the way at the base of the butt where you actually feel them. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do now. You can shift around like that, find your sit bones. Another really lovely way of thinking about alignment is to imagine that you've got a zipper along the spine, okay? So your tailbone, really, the end of the spine is where the zipper begins. And let's visualize that wherever you are right now, someone is gently zipping up, okay, all the way along your spine from the lower back, from the mid back, from the upper back, going all the way to the nape of your neck and to the crown of your neck. This is a wonderful visual. You can repeat this as many times as you like. And this is a great way of naturally bringing yourself on your sit bones. And here's the thing, I'm sitting really upright right now, but it is not painful, not uncomfortable. I think I can sit like this for a long time because I'm sitting on my sit bones. And this zipper ideal is a good way to ensure that alignment. Point number one, what's your alignment like? Okay. All right, now that we're here, we're going to drop our weight through the sit bones. And by drop your weight, I don't mean become a bag of bones like that. No. Sit upright, but really give up the excess. So if there's any excess tightness in your back, in the sides of your body, right, in your underarms, that's a really cool area because it's sort of where all of the muscles of your sides, of your back, of your chest, everything just converges there. So you can think of the muscles in the underarm letting go, just unraveling slowly. Okay, you can also think of the entire back getting a little wider, your chest staying open, the chest stays lifted and open. And now let's give a thought to our abdomen. So we're still on our sit bones, but we're now really, really, really going to allow the sit bones to sink into the floor. Okay. And the lower abdomen relaxes. It becomes really, really passive and super, super soft and just melts almost, okay? So we want to keep that fluidity in the muscles of the abdomen and stick with me. The whole idea of this lesson is to not rush. So the more you are willing to go through this slow and explorative process of understanding what's going on within you, the better you are likely to be able to get more out of the more sophisticated exercises. Okay, so do not be in a hurry. Stay along, trust that this will work. Okay, so now that we're here, I want you to gently connect with the lower abdomen and the pelvis. So you might feel like a push into the chair. Okay, you might also feel the abdomen expand forward. So basically, if this is the pelvic floor and this is your lower abdomen, we want this to happen. Okay, your pelvic floor moves down and your abdomen moves out. I'm not sure you can see my hands. So pelvic floor moves down and abdomen moves out. So we're really creating this bigger bowl right underneath, right? Like your pelvic, the base of your torso, basically. We're thinking of it as a bowl, and that bowl is getting larger and deeper with every inhale. So one of my students called this the Nicki Minaj breathing technique because every time you breathe in, you feel like your butt gets bigger. And that's a very accurate description because that is pretty much how that feels. So you can think of your butt getting bigger every time you inhale. Think of that as necessary almost for this to work. So I'll wait. You can really, really allow your belly to stay quite passive as you inhale. Feel this push down into the floor or into the chair. And another thing that I want to point out, it's a little late in the lesson for me to be pointing this out, but if you are trying to carry this lesson forward on your own, make sure you are sitting on a firm, flat chair. Or if you're sitting on the floor, that's fine, but you have to be even more aware of your alignment. I usually find that a chair gives me better alignment, but that's okay. If you feel more comfortable on the floor, then that's fine. Okay, now as you really allow yourself to reel into this way of breathing, where you're breathing deep into the lower belly, into the pelvis, your belly is expanding, the sides of your body are expanding. You feel this downward push into the floor. Begin to notice how that starts to relax your throat. You start to feel, and don't try too hard to make this work, to stick to this visual, because that can tighten you up really. Just make sure that you're allowing your abdomen to really respond and expand seamlessly, and that will do the job. And notice how that really unlocks your throat. You suddenly have more space. You have more, less compression. Things are feeling more decompressed at the back of your throat. So that is really where I want to bring you all today with this particular lesson, is that if you are experiencing strain, your inhale has to be deconstructed. If you are not doing that, chances are that you will continue to do your other exercises like a zombie on autopilot without any awareness. The reason why it's important to understand how you breathe and to inculcate this habit or this skill of breathing in this particular relaxed way, you will see that when you have to go into more aggressive or intense forms of vocalization, you should be able to carry some of that skill, some of that practice with you when you start to breathe, and that will in turn help with reducing some of the strain off of your voice. And like I said, this is a very, very, very slow and steady way of exploring the voice. So there is no need to be in a hurry. Come back to this video as often as you like and really develop a strong foundation, a strong connection with your lower abdomen and your pelvic floor. And notice how that really elongates you, how that gives you a lot of space, and how that decompresses your throat. And that is where we want to begin with our process or our journey of fixing our problem of vocal fatigue. And for those of you who did not feel the tightness in the beginning when I was trying to get you to breathe like that, try it. You will appreciate the stark difference between these two situations. Now I've got another video on the exhale. Click on that video to continue the lesson and explore how exhalation works when you sing.